Hello everyone, Mike Smith, Dan Ramey, and Mrs. Free. Tell us your first name.
Chris.
And we are here today at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Chillicothe, and Dan knows how to cook. I do not. We're going to learn how to cook today, and you're going to help us with that.
Absolutely.
But what's been going on as far as what you're doing virtually to help veterans know how to eat better?
We have a healthy teaching kitchen program, which veterans can call into Kevin McKeever, who is our scheduler. His extension is 16351. And the virtual Healthy Teaching Kitchen series has been developed to help veterans easily prepare recipes that with minimal ingredients and teach just some basic kitchen skills and confidence in the kitchen so that everyone will want to cook.
And this is healthy eating.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see celery here already.
Yes.
That was the tip-off for me.
Yes.
So our schedule, we have virtual classes at 11 o'clock the first and third Wednesday of every month. And we are also kicking off our third women's series, which will start March 9th. And those classes are for 6 weeks in a row at 1 o'clock.
What have been the benefits from the veteran standpoint? What have you been, the feedback that you've been hearing?
I actually have had veterans who have been in the program from the beginning. They can just enroll in the 2-month series at a time. So the classes are set up as a 2-month block. So they would join for 4 classes, the first and third Wednesday of 2 months. And one veteran has continued in the program since the beginning. He enjoys it. I come up with different recipes for each class. Some are breakfast, some are lunch, some are dinner, some are snacks. Just helping with their chronic health conditions, learning to cook a little healthier, and just maybe enjoy foods that they haven't tried before. That's remembering that food is supposed to be fun.
So Chris, lead us through the actual, what we're supposed to do here.
Okay, we are going to start with a Tuscan bean soup.
Okay. I have the instructions right here.
Yes. First of all, if you would like to add a teaspoonful of olive oil to the pan. The pan has been heating up to a medium heat.
Does that look like a teaspoon or a tablespoon?
That's a half tablespoon.
Uh-huh.
So
use about 2/3 of that.
about 2/3, okay. Whoa,
That's perfect.
that's about 3/4. That'll work. Okay, we'll set this down inside here.
Sure.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to lick that.
No.
I was supposed to clean that.
Just like at home, right?
Okay, so while the oil is heating up in the pan, we're going to prep the 2 vegetables that will need prepped.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
The onion and the
The
celery.
onion and the celery, we need about a 1/2 cup of each,
Okay.
chopped.
So do we want to
And at the
peel
same
the
time?
onion? Okay, so we're going to peel the onion,
Please.
which is something I've never done before.
Now, how thin do you want the celery cut?
Just a small chop. So a chop is a small dice.
Okay. A dice and a chop.
This is strong.
Nothing red's coming out of the celery yet, folks. We're making progress. Hey, there's success. Should I just go ahead and do the other stalk at the same time?
Yes.
Sure.
This is a little bit fuller stalk.
So go ahead and slice the top off as well.
And voila, it falls
See?
apart on you.
There you go.
Just like that. Nice. But it's so slick. I am
Just
not
like
an
you.
onion fan. Yeah, real slick. Okay, so we've got this
So flat side down, yes.
flat side down. We cut it
Cutting
in
it in
half,
half.
just like so.
Flat side down again.
Flat side down. Let me move this over to the camera shot. And are we cutting just the corners or
I would go long ways.
long ways like so?
Yes.
Aha. Is that too thick?
Nope, that's perfect.
Fantastic.
Remembering that the celery and onion are going to cook and be soft, so
Gotcha.
So I should go ahead and start.
absolutely.
And we need about a 1/2 cup.
Yes.
If I'm going too thin or too wide, let me
It's
know.
perfect.
Did you catch that,
Yes.
folks? Perfect, she said.
It's the only time she'll say that today.
I've not ever heard that in my life. Seems like there ought to be a machine that does this for you.
Actually,
Oh,
we do
now you
have,
tell me.
But I wanted you to,
Okay.
experience
The
full
old-fashioned way,
joy.
Mike.
Yes, thank you. Thank
This
you,
was
Chris.
before Ronco.
Now for the younger audience, Ronco, what's that? Yeah.
This is a very expensive tool, but is very beneficial for someone who may not
Me-
have
somebody
the
that's inept.
dexterity.
Like myself.
May not have the dexterity.
This is the onion chopper. I could have used this so
Yes, you
Yes.
could have, but we didn't.
2 minutes ago.
I only did what I was told. I'm used to doing that.
He's doing great.
Let's go ahead and put that in there and see what we have.
And remembering that cooking is not the exact science that baking is.
Thank goodness we're not baking today.
So, that looks great.
We are right
Okay,
at the cup,
now,
right there. You
being
can stop
careful to
now. You
add.
stop.
Oh, we don't need any more. We don't. Yeah, it's like an assembly line. You got me going.
Being careful to add those vegetables to the pot just because there is hot oil in there.
Ah,
That is one
yeah.
thing of,
Fact,
making sure that
A lot of it looks like it's evaporated. We
it
took
may
too long
have.
to pour some more in.
It took so long to cut the celery, it evaporated, yes.
How's that look?
I would add just a
Add-
tiny bit more.
Just a pinch.
We're about to learn what a smidge is. So, and we'll put,
I'll come behind you. Okay.
oop, that's a little.
So
little
adding the onion and the celery,
smidge. There we go.
and you have your spoon there to stir.
Okay.
The
so
other addition is our minced garlic.
And is that already in a bowl?
That actually is right here in the jar.
Okay.
We could have started with an actual bulb of garlic and then peeled all 3 cloves and minced the garlic, but this is just as easy.
No, I love that.
So this is already minced garlic in a jar. Each half of a teaspoon of minced garlic is the equivalent to 1 clove of garlic. So the recipe called for 3 cloves, so we need to add 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic.
1.5, and this is how big of a container?
That's a half.
Okay, because I got my contact lenses, so I can't read anything unless it's out here today.
So 3 of those right into the pot.
Into the pot. There's the first one.
One. I can really smell that garlic. 2.
Your fresh garlic is going to give a little more flavor than the mince, but so
All right.
when you're cooking onion, when it's soft and ready, you're looking for it to turn translucent.
Translucent.
What does that mean?
I'm trying to remember. Hayes Valley
Trans is
education there.
clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Trans is a lot of things.
What's
these
the
days.
lucent? I know the trans, what's the lucent mean?
It has some dexterity to it or flexibility. It looks like it does.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Celery looks a little more solid, but the onion is what we're judging it on, right?
And it will continue to soften as we add the rest of the ingredients.
And here we go.
Now, layering on to that, we are going to add 2 cups of a low sodium vegetable stock, vegetable broth. You could also use chicken.
With the broth. Okay.
Broth.
Here. Thank you. Did I need to shake this first?
I actually already have, but yes.
Ah,
And we want 2
2
cups.
cups.
That's almost all the way to the top. I'm going to fill this up and she's going to say, you know what? That container is actually 2 cups.
No, actually, it's 4 cups.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay. We're closing in on 2 cups and right there.
okay.
It feels like 3. And pour it right in, right?
Yes.
Should we stir as we pour? No, she said.
Stir after we've added this layer of ingredients. Okay, after the broth, we are adding 1 can of low sodium or no salt added white beans of some sort, and we went with Great Northern beans. I have already drained and rinsed the beans. Yes. And then Mike, if you would open up the can.
Oh, make me do the hard
Yes.
part. I haven't used a can opener like this in 40 years. I'm not kidding. It has been a long time.
There you go.
All right.
Now hold with your left and twist with
There
your right.
we go.
There.
When the electric can opener came along, we did a long way away with these kind of manual things. You might want to hold the can in case it takes off when I get to the end. So in other words, we can't cook without each other.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, pour in.
Absolutely.
We're pouring in.
The whole can.
That is your diced tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally our spices, which I've already measured out for you. So we have 1 teaspoon of dried oregano,
Okay. Okay.
1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, and 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. If you're sensitive to spice, this is something you could always leave out of the recipe as well.
I've only seen that at Pizza Hut.
Nope.
Okay.
It smells really good. I will tell you.
No, that's me.
I have never made this before at home. We just have never done this. So we may be onto something. Honey, there might be something we'll do at home like this.
And what kind of soup is this again?
Tuscan bean soup.
Tuscan bean soup.
You can see by the appearance in the pan that the recipe serves 6 1-cup servings. So it's not going to be an enormous amount of soup that you're going to be trying to eat for days and days and days.
But it would keep.
Yes, absolutely. It's one thing I do encourage our veterans, if they are at home alone and they have prepared a recipe, especially a soup, allow it to properly cool first in the refrigerator and then transfer some of it to a plasticware container, label it, date it as to what it was when you made it, and stick part of it in the freezer so then you have it ready on a day that you may not feel like preparing anything. You can just pull that out of the freezer and you've had some homemade soup that you prepared ahead of time.
It looks to me like it's Parmesan cheese right there.
Yes.
We haven't used the Parmesan yet.
That will be part of the final service. So let's
I'm
transition.
getting ahead of ourselves here.
Keep your spoon there.
Keep the spoon, you want the knife.
I think we'll be fine without the knife
Okay.
there.
Okay.
We'll leave this.
Chocolate.
This looks like chocolate
Yes.
Gordelli.
and
chocolate.
grapes.
Look at that.
We are going to make imposter truffles.
This is not part of this.
No.
So that
Do not put that in
people
your
realize
notes.
that.
No, separate recipe.
Have I ever heard of chocolate chili? Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
But that's not what we're making.
are
So we have here
transitioning to our
grapes.
next.
And we have the chocolate. Move that
The
spatula
bittersweet.
for me there. We'll get that out of the way.
Bittersweet chocolate.
And bittersweet.
Yes.
Raldy.
And our cocoa powder.
But we're also using some
Cocoa powder.
Hershey's
Hershey's cocoa.
cocoa as well.
I
truffles.
will, while you all talk and entertain, go ahead and melt our chocolate quickly.
So the soup, all it's doing now is just cooking,
Yeah, simmering right there.
and is it ready to go after that? Or is there something else that we need to add from what you see in your instructions there?
I have a feeling that spinach is going to be involved. and the Parmesan cheese right there as well. I think that's,
That would add some.
I'm guessing that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
I may be wrong, but I'm guessing.
but that's a good guess.
I've guessed wrong.
Since it's
before.
there on the table, that's a good guess.
Since it's all on this side.
Yes.
All right, so you are melting that chocolate right
Yes,
now, right?
the chocolate is
Okay.
coming. There are different methods of melting chocolate. You can use a double boiler method, which is where you take one saucepan, add an inch of water to it, allow it to just gently boil, and then have the glass bowl over top of the saucepan with the chocolate in it and just constantly stir the chocolate over top. That will usually prevent you from having an episode where you might burn chocolate if you are microwaving it. We're just using that steam from the double boiler method to melt the chocolate on top. If you are using the microwave, which we're utilizing this morning, making sure to only microwave in 30-second increments at a time. Stop, carefully pull it out with a hot mitt. Stop and stir. See how, if it needs another 30 seconds, put it in just for another 30 seconds. Stop and stir again with the spatula until about probably 80%, 75-80% of the chocolate is melted. And then the heat from the bowl should continue to melt it. So just be patient and stir until the chocolate is melted.
This is truly an educational experience for you, or else they would have let you run the microwave.
That's true, because that's my
Everybody knows
expertise.
how to do
Run
that.
the microwave, right?
This is bubbling quite nicely.
Great. Just enough time for it to simmer and all the flavors to marry together and allow the vegetables to continue to.
This is a
soften.
marriage ceremony right here between
Yes.
flavors. The flavors of onions, the flavors of tomatoes. Can I sneak a grape in?
Absolutely. We are talking, Tuscan bean soup, so thinking of
Yeah,
Italy and,
that's true.
grapes as well.
I think they like wine over there too. So.
The one tip that I would say when you have washed the grapes is to make sure that the grapes are completely dried before starting this recipe. That will allow the chocolate. Thank you.
And these grapes have been washed, that's why I was able to sneak one there. I think of Lucille Ball when I see a container
grapes.
of grapes being stomped upon, yes. Now
Okay.
here's the melted chocolate.
It has been melted. Tom said the bowl is very hot.
Very hot.
So please be very careful.
Thank you for telling me so ahead
On
of
your
time.
side.
So
Yes.
the chocolate is nice and smooth and melted. Carefully add about half of this chocolate onto the grapes.
Okay.
So, put onto this.
So I still need to
Should've got
hold
the hot
this
pad. I would be.
and then spatula it out. I did know this was a spatula.
Yes.
Thank you. Rush Limbaugh's Spatula Warehouse. Should I spread it around as much as possible, or?
You actually will use the spatula to help stir.
Okay. And only half of this.
Half of it right now.
Okay.
Because I get to lick the bowl.
Oh, you. Okay, that looks to be, do you think there's more than, or is that
That's-
half?
That looks like about half of it.
Okay, very
It's
good.
not
Best
perfect, but it's
estimation
close.
is
Okay.
great. So then stirring
Stir.
the chocolate into the grapes.
The only better way that we can make grapes and chocolate is to add bacon. Oh, baby.
Somehow that just doesn't seem
love to add bacon to
fit.
everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like grapes anymore.
No.
But if you think about the ingredients that typically are in your truffles,
Mm-hmm.
we're
It
having.
looks like meatballs. Doesn't smell
A
like
little different
meatballs. It smells
version.
like
Smell the chocolate. I can smell the chocolate.
Do you feel like the grapes are well coated, or do you need to add more of the chocolate, the melted chocolate?
I mean, to me, it looks like they're covered.
They
Okay.
look well coated, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
then we don't need to add the rest and.
Okay.
And I get to lick the bowl.
Dan
Or
gets
the
to-
spatula, one or the other. But take your
Not
mask.
yet, not yet.
Take your mask off first.
Okay, so to finish these off, typically a truffle is rolled in something. So cocoa powder or coconut or nuts or things like this. So today we're going to use the cocoa powder.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to slowly,
Mm-hmm.
1 teaspoon at a time.
Okay.
So
Not
the
a
recipe
heaping.
Not a
says-
heaping.
The recipe calls for 1 to 3, but that is just stopping and stirring and seeing as you go to feel like if they're coated well enough. So there is the final product of our truffle imposters.
Fantastic.
Now, should one of us test this?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay.
The first to demask inside a federal building. Huh? Okay. I can't let you have all the fun. Here it is. Oh, wow. Chocolate, grape, sweet, needs bacon. But it's really good.
Okay, so to transition back to our soup, the final step.
Ooh, onion.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
onion from the fingers. Is to add 2 cups of fresh baby spinach
Uh-huh.
to the soup.
Okay. 2 cups, you say?
Yes. Nice and full. Don't be afraid to.
Stick her down in there, Dan.
For those who like to watch Bluey, the cartoon, Sean is doing the work there. Those with kids, you know what I'm talking about.
We're ready to go?
Yes.
Ready?
Okay, here it comes.
The spinach will wilt and cook quickly.
Do we need to stir that spinach?
Yes, please. Approximately just a minute or so, and spinach will really shrink down.
Cooking can be fun.
Did you hear that, Laura Smith?
She never watches my shows. That's why I'm totally safe here.
Uh-huh. I'll send her a copy.
I think the leaves are all saturated.
Okay, just give it maybe another 30 seconds to
Of stirring.
cook down.
He fights to the finish because he eats his spinach. He's Mikey the cook. And those lighter colored beans kind of stand out a little
Oh, they
bit.
do? Yes.
You could use any other kind of bean though, right?
Absolutely. Black, red.
Is there a reason why you chose this particular type of bean?
Typically in the recipes such as this, the Tuscan or Italian, you're going to use a white bean over a red bean or a black bean.
And Mike becomes from cook
The
to server.
server.
Yes.
The server.
And then you can top it off with some fresh grated Parmesan cheese as well.
Oh. Oh.
Yes.
Let's see here. I like cheese, folks, so I'm not going to hold back on this.
Cheese.
Okay. And this is, or was that my?
There's extra.
Ah, okay. I did not want to contaminate the,
Okay.
okay. We always need to blow on hot soup before we put it in our mouth. That is good. Do you recommend staying away from using any salt?
Well, the
Considering the
ingredients-
diet that you're talking about for the
The
better.
ingredients that we use, yes, we use the low sodium broth to start out with. We use the no salt added tomatoes, diced tomatoes. We rinsed the canned beans. So how do you feel flavor-wise?
Now, the pepper that you also put in, that's to substitute for any additional pepper that you had put on.
Yes, so we didn't use black pepper, we used the crushed red pepper.
My wife started using less salt in our diets years ago. So I'm used to not having a lot of salt. One of my sisters, they would salt even before they taste something. So I'm used to not having a lot of salt, so that tastes good to me.
As far as the recipe, how do you feel? Was it complicated?
Oh,
Do you
my,
think it's
no.
something that was easy and you could fix?
This was a lot more simple. They say guys don't read the directions, so just looking at directions, sometimes that can be intimidating, but after going through the process of putting it all together, of course Dan would have to come to my house to cook with me to make sure I get it all right. But that was very simple,
Right.
very simple to do.
Simple. It took a little while because it was us doing it, and so that our inexperience, so to
Right.
speak, I think is what made it go a little long. But you realize you made soup and dessert.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the main course here, and well, if we really wanted a main course, we'd had like some beef roast or something. We should go with it. But this is a meal in itself right here.
And once you get used to having done it once or twice, it'll go much faster.
And again, remembering that when you cook, your allergies, your preferences can always factor into, just like I said, the crushed red pepper flakes. If you're someone who can't tolerate much spice, you know, that's something that you can leave out. You could always add more.
And for most of our veterans watching in, they have a dietitian at VA
Yes.
that can help them know what they should and shouldn't have in their diet.
Yes, each one of them,
Come into the shot here.
as part of their care team. I am personally involved with the home-based primary care team. So we are an entire team that goes out into the veterans' homes for those veterans who cannot come in for, say, a bronze team appointment. We actually take the care to them in their homes. So that is there as well. So if you cannot come in for whatever chronic medical conditions that you have that you need to be cared for by your team, we will actually come out to see you.
I will tell you that this is the first time since the pandemic I have eaten hot soup and then put my mask back on. My glasses are steaming up. I can't see. But very tasty stuff.
Yes, very good.
We'd like
Glad
to
you
take some of
enjoyed
this
it.
home with us.
Absolutely. There's not much left over, like you can see. The recipe
great.
wasn't
Very
a pot filler, so.
And you do this how often again?
First and third Wednesday of every month, veterans can call into the main VA number and then call into our scheduler, Kevin McKeever. His extension is 16351. They will be added to the clinic. Then they will receive a link in their email to join that link at 11 o'clock on the first and third Wednesday of the month and watch me prepare the recipe live with them interacting from home.
Fantastic. And can they cook at home at the same time?
They absolutely can. I email the recipe and the handouts that we are going to discuss, usually the day before. So if they had access to run to the store that on Tuesday and gather the ingredients, they could be at home in their kitchen preparing it as we roll along through the recipe.
Anything that we have missed?
I don't believe so. National Nutrition Month is coming up in March, and again, we will be featuring our third women's 6-week series. They can call in to Kevin as well and register for that. A little more female oriented with the handouts and topics that we discuss. But that will be at 1 o'clock starting March 9th, every Wednesday going until April 13th.
I'll be interested in seeing what their comments are after having watched this here today. Well, thank you for what you're doing to help our veterans, and certainly always good to see a local kid done well.
Yes,
Chris
sir.
Free, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.